Hello, everybody. I'm Trimbark Tree, and welcome to Wall Street Raider. That's right. This game has been 40 years in the making, and I personally have been waiting for this for almost 25 years because I first discovered the original version of Wall Street Raider on some random shareware download site when I was just a kid with no credit card. And I loved that demo so much that when I finally got old enough, I bought the game. And then I bought it another time. And then I got another computer and I bought it again. And then I bought it again. And so now I can finally play the new updated version with a new modern UI. Because if you've never seen the old UI for the old game, it is something else. I mean, it is it is a thing of the past. And it looked old. It looked very old when I first started playing it in the early 2000s. And so I have wanted a new modern updated version, and we finally have it because Wall Street Raider version 10 is in early access, and I am so excited to share it with you guys and play and show you how it works, what's new, what's different, and I think it's time that we just get started. So let's go ahead. We'll hit a new game. We'll do it in dollars, and then we get a little pop up down here. We can pick our name and difficulty level. I always go for 3. The game length in the playtest is 35 years, but in the early access and full release version, it will be unlimited. But let's go ahead and get started. And just a little pop up about the database. There we go. And let's see. All right. We start with a little pop up here about how the Fed will continue to ease interest rates. And I'm going to go ahead and pause right away. Hit that space bar. We're going to pause. We're going to slow the game down. Here we go. And let's just start. If you have never seen this game and you're probably like, whoa, did this guy just load into a Bloomberg terminal? It's kind of like that. The point of this game is to make a ton of money. And you can do that by buying companies. You can do that by selling commodities. You can do it by being a bond guy if he's just really into bonds, I guess. But there's lots of ways to do stuff. And I'm going to just sort of walk through. If you've played the old version of the game, you will notice that this is kind of, in a lot of ways, completely different. So we'll get through everything. We'll show everything off as we get to it. And there's some quirks because this is the very, very early playtest version of this game. And so there's some quirks that we're going to have to work around, but that's okay. But if you're a returning player, just know that all the buttons that used to be on the main UI are now tabs. And the options of things you can do show up as buttons here. Let's see, like right here, and this sort of stuff, right? Okay, cool. So we're loaded into the game. We'll talk about stuff as we get going, but I do want to just scroll a little bit of time. We want to get to the 30th. We want to get to the end of January here because the game sort of does like a 1 month, I don't know, training exercise, and then it resets itself, and that's when we can start doing what I like to do, which is trading commodities to make a ton of money. As we're doing that, as we're just sort of scrolling through time, you can see we have the news headlines here. You can click on one of these links to see a company. Takes you right to basically their overview, their research report. You can check out their earnings, financials, and we can't really do anything with them right now because we don't own them, right? But we'll get there. We will get there in time. Right now, I just want to go ahead and check out the economic data. We have a very high GDP growth rate. Interest rates not so bad. The prices on bonds are pretty high, and if I could, I would probably short them, but I suspect they might actually go higher right now, so we're not going to do that. Let's go back to viewing the player, and we can just sort of run down really quick. We have our financials tab. I'm going to pause it. We have our cash flow tab. stocks and bonds. So if we owned bonds or stocks, they would show up here. Here's for options. If you buy them, here's the commodities page, my favorite. Oh, and I'm spotting some really good targets. So I'm excited because I think we're going to get really rich really fast. The way I play, it's all in. You either win or you lose. And there's no in between. And so you'll see that coming through. But this is the game that taught me everything I know about finance. Now, in my regular real life world, I am not a billionaire. But in this game, I absolutely know how to be a billionaire because I don't know. This game teaches you things like you're wondering like, okay, what does a long option mean? What does a short option mean? You got to learn to play the game. And this is the ultimate line go up, fuzzy feeling inside you when number go up game. It truly is. Okay, so we made it to February 1st. Okay. What I'm going to do is go over here to the commodities and crypto page. And I said I spotted some really good targets. Part of this game is just playing it enough to know what's a good price and what's a bad price here. I can tell you right now that oil is very high, $125 a barrel. I think it's going to go down. Oh, it won't let us until January is completely done, which apparently means February 2nd. Okay, can we trade it now? Yes. And what we're going to do is we're going to trade some short futures for a long contract of oil. And we're going to go all in. With the max we can get, 22,000. Now, we're borrowing a bunch of money. We're completely in debt. If the price of oil goes up at all, we are SOL. We are done for. So you can see here, we just shorted those oil contracts and we've already made a profit. It's a little bit, it's not great. And the thing is, I want a lot more. I am greedy, right? And so what I'm going to do is turn around and short silver because $35 for an ounce of silver is crazy high. And I think I'm just going to go full tilt shorting silver because silver you can't make a lot of money from because the contracts is fairly limited, but it's great early game because especially because I know it's going to go down. And we are just going to keep riding this short dragon here as much as possible, leverage ourselves to the absolute maximum because I'm fairly confident we're going to make a little bit of money here. But let's run some time. You can see our net value, our profit and loss bouncing around, and we are deep in the negative. Hopefully that doesn't last long enough for us to go bankrupt. I think we're going to there we go. Well, okay. We went bankrupt right away, which is just classic Trimbark Tree playing playing Wall Street Raider. This is what I do. I go all in, and if I don't win, that's okay. We start again. A lot of people play. There's what's really fun about this game is there's like a million different play styles that you can play. A lot of people they do the smart thing. They do the smart investment. I don't do that. I am all in. Okay, you humans don't do very well at these games that require some modicum of intelligence, do you? You get too easily sucked into buying overpriced stocks every time, no? Yeah, soup line. Okay. Okay, well, we got our first bankruptcy out of the way. Let's try again. I could easily cut that out, but I'm not going to because you know what? That's part of this game right now, right here. But I've realized here's the thing: you can make billions of dollars. All you have to do is start with $1 billion, right? And that's what's great about this game is like, hey, we'll give you 1,000 million. That's $1 billion. And here, now you can earn money. If I started with $100 like I have right now, it'd be really hard. But you know what? With patience, speed, and a little luck, we're gonna get there. Okay, so here, let's just let it cook, and I can talk about the history of this game. So this game was originally created by a man named Michael D. Jenkins. who was a tax accountant. He was like a Harvard grad. He did a bunch of taxes. He worked for all sorts of big, huge corporations. And in his spare time, he wrote a computer game. He's not what I would call a coder. He doesn't, he's not using VS Code to write the code. He wrote this whole game in Notepad, or whatever the 1983 equivalent is, because that's when he first started making the game. And then he came out with a DOS version of the game, and I want to say 1986, which is crazy to think about, that this game has been around for 40 years. But the original version of this game looks completely different because it's all basically pop-ups, constant pop-ups, non-stop Win32 pop-ups all over. And you'll see that there are still some left in the game, but the creator in charge of this new version is working on getting rid of those. So the old game was a lot of pop-ups and very hard and very obscure to get into, basically. But if you find this game interesting in any way, there we go. We hit February 1st. Let's let the day tick a little bit more. Okay, there we go. If you find this game interesting at all, you immediately get sucked in, because what's lovely is you have the possibility to take over the world, right? And so here we can go to the View Market Reports tab, and here's the industrial growth rates, and you can see there's all of these industries, and every single industry has a whole bunch of companies in it. So like, let's say we pick on packaged foods here, and I click on this. I got this little minor bug. Just let it roll for a couple days. There you go. You can see there's that many companies in it, right? And you can see what their market shares are. You can see how much they're making on the business assets that they have. You can see, an analyst rating and their dividend yield. Holy cow, 43%. Yeah, that company's going bankrupt for sure. And then you can check out, see here, growth rates. Here's the economic data. Interest rates, we give you a lowdown on what the bonds are selling for, and this will be important later, and we'll get to that hopefully. And then you can, of course, see like who's got the most tax losses, market cap, cash. Whoa, that's a lot of cash on hand, but that makes sense. These are all going to be banks. They got a lot of cash right now. But this game is like so incredibly deep, and I just love it so much. And what we could do, what I suggest for new time players, is going into some industry like advertising, which is a really small one, and you can see they're struggling a little bit right now, but we'll go. This company has a 40% market share. This one has a 25%, and their price to net worth is relatively low. Now, as a general rule, you don't want to overpay for a company. And so if we click on here, Public Relations Inc., you can see their research report. The analyst is saying hold. Let's see. Well, let's add it. $71. Yeah, they're saying like this company's kind of on the edge. But if we go here to financials, you can see they have a bunch of money in stocks. They have 3,300, well, 3.3 billion in business assets. This is money the company has that is earning them money. And then they have about $1 billion in debt. So their net worth is 4.8 billion, right? But their total stock capitalization is 7 billion. So the net worth versus the current stock price, this company is a little bit overpriced. I don't like personally buying companies that are much higher than their net worth per share. However, that is what you're trying to do with a company. You're trying to boost the value up so that it's selling as a large multiple over its actual underlying value, and then you can make money, right? You could if you weren't me, because I am me. I want to go trade crypto. Not crypto. Oil. Oil's where it's at. Seriously, folks. We're gonna try this one. I firmly believe we're gonna make money this time. Please, game, don't destroy me. Okay, yeah, look at that. We're making some money. We made a lot of money on that. Oil's still going down. So I'm going to just try and short again, see if we can squeeze a few more contracts out of it. There we go. I am constantly riding that 1-to-1 equity to debt ratio for my personal self. But look at that. We've already earned almost $2 billion, and we're up to a net worth of $2.5 billion. So I'm excited. Everything's going well. As long as that oil price keeps falling down, we're just going to keep making money. Although it might sort of balance out. There's ways to see it, but we're gonna let it ride for a little bit. I'll cash out at some point, and then we can go ahead and start buying companies like a normal sane player would. But I'll be honest with you, my normal behavior in this game is to go all in on one of these currencies or commodities, sorry, and just try to make as much money right off the bat as possible. Because, like, yeah, here, look at this. Our net worth is already up to almost $6 billion, which for uh essentially 45 days into the game is fantastic, because if we went and we tried to buy stocks and make that much money, it would be really hard. It'd be really hard. So that's I don't need difficulty. But we do have enough, and as far as cash and net worth and stuff, let's go back to public relations. Let's go back to their financials. Let's check it out. Okay. Yeah, they're still a little bit overpriced. And I think what I want to do is go back to, um, let's see, we'll go to the general screen, and then here we can see the advisory summary, which is you'll recognize from the old game. But we'll just find the industry they're in and click on that. We'll go back to projection. This is like my favorite page of all the pages, and see, is anything worth kind of not really. It does appear. So public relations owns part of NetClick. I don't know if they own all of it, but we could buy public relations and merge or liquidate NetClick into it, and then we would have a much larger market share that would give us more sway over how much money everybody's going to make. But the problem is we would be losing a lot of value because this price to net worth is way over 100%. You don't really want to liquidate a company unless their net worth is around 100. Now, you can just bite the bullet sometimes. I do it all the time. And just sort of ignore that. But the truth is, you don't really want to do that because you're losing money. And the whole point of this game is to make money. Now, I'm going to go in here and we're going to target a different industry that I know is small so that I can buy my way in with a very small bankroll, because $6.5 billion is relatively small. Let's put it that way. Now, we can go ahead. Let's go to the projection. We got Madison Avenue making 35. Oh, that's weird. It's still stuck on the wrong industry. Okay, well, hot code, friends. Hot code. Let's go here. Security services. If I just kind of click this a bunch of times, and then, yeah, there we go. Okay, I got it to work, so who knows. Let's take a look at these. Okay, look at that price to net worth. These are all closer to their net worth. And that's because they're not earning a lot on their capital assets. You want a company earning 20+%. And none of these are, basically. But I think I see some good targets. If I buy Whack and JDog here and combine them, I'm going to have 37%. We're immediately going to be the top of the market, and I won't be overpaying. But I can also see by their credit rating here as B and triple C that they have a lot of debt. So let's start by checking them out. I'll add that over here, hit that star, and that adds it to the list here. And let's go to financials. They have barely any cash, and they have a lot of debt. So their net worth is only half, 500 million. But that's okay, because I have enough cash where I could buy them out for this and pay off their debt, and they'd be a clean slate with a working company. So I think that's what we're going to do. So let's go back to here. And since I am acting as, right here, you can see the acting as button. I'm acting as the player. Let's go ahead and buy all these stocks. We'll buy 100%. and success. And now when you buy something, look, you can see I needed to make a tender offer for 615. So basically when you buy all the shares, because you're buying them all, it drives up the price. Stock is currently trading at 515. So you can see you essentially paying a 20 to 25% premium when you go and hit that buy 100%. That's okay. I'm willing to deal with it. We just bought our first company, and let's get rid of that other one. Now, we own WAC, but I want to go ahead and contribute capital, that's cash, from me to them. They need at least a couple billion. I'm gonna send them to close to 2. And that's enough to buy off their debt. Yes, and it actually puts me into debt, but that's okay. That's okay. Now let's go to act as WAC. We're we're acting WAC here. Let's go to our financials tab, and now I'm going to just go ahead and pay off this loan right away. Sweet. And there's a little penalty, but that's okay. We're good. And so now you can see the capitalization went up. And since we paid off our debt, I added 2 billion. It was about 500 million when I first. So we're essentially our cost basis on this company is 2.5 billion. But since I paid off that debt, all of a sudden people think, oh, this stock might be worth more than that. Maybe they'll make more in the future. And you can see we've actually made about 700 million on this so far if we were to sell out. Although we do own 100% of it, that makes selling it a little bit complicated, but that's okay. We're not done with this company yet. Let's go back to general, and we can hit security services again. And who's our next target? This one, Pitbull. Yeah, I think so. I think that'll be fine. Let's go ahead, click on them. I'm going to add them over here. Let's check out their financials. They have net worth. Okay, perfect. I think WAC has enough money. We are acting as WAC. Yeah, I think they have enough cash on hand to go ahead and buy Pitbull right out. So I think that's what we'll do. Let's go here. We can hit buy stock. And just to confirm, it is WAC buying Pitbull. Perfect. Let's buy it all. And then the game should bring up an option for us to liquidate. Yes. Do you want to liquidate Pitbull Security Services into Whack 'em Hard International? Yes, I want to whack 'em hard more than Pitbull. Okay, cool. So we did that, and now we can go back to our financial screen. Take a look at that. Cash and short-term treasury bills are essentially the same. T-bills earn you a little bit of interest, but it's negligible. Just pretend these first 2 lines are cash. Now we have our business assets and equipment, and you can see that went way up. We do have a little bit of debt, and I think we can pay that off. But so what we will do is go to financials. Oh, I'm acting as, we need to switch that. There we go. Now we can go to repay loan. All right, solid. Now there's a few more steps I make before I move on to a different company, and that is we're going to security services here. I want to check on the growth rate, the projected demand growth rate for this year, and then long term. Take a look at where we are, and our planned growth capacity right now is 11%. That means essentially we spend 11% of our business assets, or 11% of that, we take that number and try to buy a new business assets each year. I think that's yearly or quarterly. I think it's yearly. And then you'll see this percent of sales spent for marketing. Now here, everybody else is like 6, 3, 9, 8. Ours is 4. What this number does is makes it the higher this number is, it's essentially spending it on training your managers. And the better your managers are, the more money you make. This number affects this return on capital assets, but it's not immediate. So you got to pump this number up if you want to see this number go up in the long term. I'm actually okay with only owning 22%, but I'm thinking we might be able to just go crazy. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and buy JDog if we can, but we got to make sure we check Yeah, they don't have any stocks. Okay, nothing's inflating them. Oh, this is a perfect target. So let's go back. Let's buy them out too. And we are going to have a large portion of this industry. I think we will be the number one. Yes. And okay. Now we need to go back to our financials. How are we doing? Not much cash left, and we have some debt. But now we're more like a normal company, and now we can act as whack. There we go. Now we need to go through. I think I'm going to actually adjust our growth rate down so that we're not burning through cash quite so much. I'm okay if we just stick with that nice little 7%. It was kind of between the this year and long term, but we need to adjust our productivity. That's the marketing or advertising, and I'm going to turn this up to a 10. So it means in the like in the short term, we'll actually earn less because we'll be spending more on our R&D, but long term, we're going to have a better, healthier company. And the number one thing, okay, 0 to 3, current dividend is 0. That's perfect. I always turn my dividends off until my companies get very large and it makes it worthwhile, because what I like to do is just keep all the cash in the corporation. Where is it? Financials. Here we go. I like to keep all the cash in the corporation so that I'm not paying a bunch of debt. But all that is to say, we have successfully bought our first company. We have pumped it up to the max. And by that, I mean, let's go here. Let's check out security services, projection, and whack is, oh, I probably need to update this. I think this probably needs updating. Yep. Okay, there it is. Whoa. Okay, look at that. We have too much. We have 50%. 50% is not good. We have once you get over 50%, you can get sued for owning a monopoly. We don't want to get sued for owning a monopoly. So the first thing I'm going to do is go back to Whack-'em Hard. We're going to go back to cash flow, and we're going to set our growth rate to 0. That'll help. That will change what our percent is, because that's always projected. That's sort of upcoming. And click this button again. Go here. Okay, and let's see. Is it still saying 50? Okay, it dropped it down a little bit. We need to sell some business assets. Otherwise, we're going to get sued out of existence. It is no fun. It is no fun to get sued out of existence. Trust me, we need to sell at least like 3%, which, so let's go here, sell corporate assets. We have 2.8 billion. Okay, 10% of that would be 280. 5% of that would be 140. Let's try selling 128 million, and that might get us under. I really shouldn't. Yeah, it's minor loss. That's okay. I really shouldn't be doing math on a video, but you know what? This is basically a math game. And if you want to get rich, you got to learn to do math really quick. Okay, let's check it out again. I know I'm just back and forth, but I want to make sure. Okay, I just got to let it update. There's a weird little lag with this screen, but that's okay. Beautiful. I love this game, and I got to say, right here is a really good time to say I love the changes that Hackjack Games has made to the game. The underlying game logic is still there. None of that has changed, but he has made the interface so much better. And if you're watching this at some point in the future, it might look totally different again, because there's a lot of notes. Like, these buttons are too tiny, they're hiding behind that bar. This stuff, change law firm, this unimportant. You will never click these buttons. They should not be on the top bar. But I've already told him that, and he's working on it. But this is so much easier to do all on one page instead of clicking, and I'm not kidding you, like 5 or 6 pop-ups deep. Like, you would click a button, it would bring up a pop-up. You'd click on that, it would bring up another pop-up. All like over and over and over, just to do the things you want. Things that used to take 5 or 6 clicks in the old game now take 2. And I love that. But I also just love the look. I love the big scrolling news, and I love that you can just click on one of these and it brings you to it. Oh, it's so nice. It's okay. I digress. What were we doing before? I love the changes, and you might see little bugs, but that's because this is like the playtest that was released yesterday, and I'm recording this video. So, help if you yourself want to join the playtest for this game. Go ahead, go to Steam, look for Wall Street Raider playtest, and it is public. You can join and you can download and you can help make the game better. If there's something you feel like you want to see, make sure you do that and join the Discord so that you can talk directly to the developer and all the other people who care so much about this game and have been playing it for 30 years. Because the thing is, I'm barely covering anything here. There's so much more to this game, and you might get lost at some point for sure. Okay, let's go back to messing around. Let's check out our company. Okay. Oh, weird. There's an issue. I can't scroll up. That's okay. Let's do it. View player, acting as. Okay. It is probably time that we went. Oh, the game was running. Oh, now it's running. Okay, it's probably time that we go check out how our commodities are doing. They're doing pretty good, but I think. Oh, geez, it's. Oh, okay. And there we go. We go negative. Just when I looked, I should have saved. Now we're super negative. Come on, oil, crash, crash, crash. It's not going to. Oh, we have gone bankrupt again. Oh no. Okay. 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 Oh, I was not planning on that. MDJ, you got me again, man. There we go. Liquidate. Okay. Bankrupt. Yep. All right. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's just treat that all as a learning experience. I showed you how to buy some stock, how to take over an industry real quick, how to use ill-gotten gains from futures to cash flow the rest of your ideas. And that's okay, but I want to keep touching on some other things. And so here we are. We're back to February 6th. We're back to a fresh, clean slate. And let's go ahead and just keep doing the same thing. But this time, look at this oil price. This is freakishly low oil. And so this time, I am confident we're going to make big money. We're going to make big money long term. I'm not going to buy such long ones because this is something to point out while I'm buying these futures here. The closer they are to you, the closer they are to the spot price today. And long over a long distance, over a long amount of time, the predicted price, basically the price of the contract, goes up, right? But if you know that the price is going to change wildly, you might want to just stick to these closer ones, and you'll earn more money. Let's put it that way. But I don't really want to buy a contract for next month if I'm not convinced it's going to go up in the next month. That doesn't do me any good. So I typically scroll down a little bit, buy options that are a little bit further out, and it gives me some breathing room while I sit back and rake in the cash, right? Okay. Let's play a few days, hopefully not go broke right away. Oil's just sort of hovering. Oh, that net worth is already negative. Come on, oil. Come on, oil. Come on. Yes, success. We have made money. It's still hovering really low, and I want to go even like further down the rabbit hole, but I might need to give myself a little bit more space. I'm just riding that debt line way too close. Oh, yeah. It's just making me nervous. It's going up. Okay. There we go. Okay. We're up to 3 billion now. These oil traders finally get it. This price is way too low. Let's just go all in because I still have some things I want to do in this game. And we'll just show you essentially how it works. While we're praying for that oil price to go up, let's go up to the market reports here, and let's go back over to economic data. Let's check it out. In this world, in this imaginary world, we are, oh, we're at 5 billion. Nice. The growth rate is pretty good. The prime interest rate is really low. And let's see. Let's go to interest rates here. Okay. The yield on government bonds is crazy low. Look at that. So that means bond prices are super high. Let's go back to view. Let's go back to, let's see, stocks and bonds. And here we can buy the short bond, right? For one. So if here I bring it up and it shows the price is 159. That is ridiculous. That is not good. What we want to do is find, you want to buy bonds when they're at like 40, 50, 70. Right now, this is so high, we want to short these bonds. And so we have a couple ways we can do it. Now, the first one is one that I just discovered the other day, and I guess now is a good time to show off that there is a command line here. So you can type in buy, or you can type in sell, or you can type in a stock. Let's see, MMT, Megamarts Inc. And but so there's a command line here that can be really good if you're the kind of person who loves a command line. What I'm going to do is hit Gov B. And this is a government bonds ETF. This game has ETFs in it that you can buy and sell. And this has ETFs in it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to short this. But I'm not going to just straight up short it. What we're going to do is we are going to buy puts. Because here I can, this is an option, right? This is an option to put stock to someone else for a certain price, and I'm buying the puts. So if the price goes down, my option will be worth more, or I can put the stock to them at a certain price. And that's essentially the same thing as shorting, but you can leverage even higher because the actual cash you have to pay is so much smaller, but the returns are the same. So we're gonna, this is a heck of a put. I'm not sure I want to do 10% because this ETF is huge. Let's go 5%, submit. And so for this much money, we are essentially short selling 5% of this stock, but it's cheaper than actually short selling or actually buying. So now we need to add this and just pray that that number goes down over time. Let's go back to the player and go to options. Here you can say, see, well, we've made 3 billion. If I was smart, I would cash out and I would sell that right now, but I'm not. I am not. In fact, I'm a degenerate risk taker in this game. Oh, I'm just so tempted to buy even more oil. I think I'm going to do it. Let's just, because you know what? Life's too short to be afraid of making money. There we go. Bought some more. We're almost maxed out on the amount of oil that we can buy. And now I think I want to move on and tackle one more thing that we can use to our mega massive advantage. And so what we are going to do is go here and hit, oh, I'm going to pause the game, hit the interest rate swaps. And here it brings up this pop-up where you can create a swap derivative contract. This is basically what crashed the economy in 2008. And so if you're unaware of collateralized debt obligations or credit default swaps, this is very similar, but this is an interest rate swap. So I find another company and I say, hey, I am going to pay you a set amount. So I'm going to take we're going to just go with the short term, the short bond. We're going to take the short position because we think actually rates are going to go up. And so we are going to pay the current fixed rate. We're going to pay 1% on this notional amount right here. I'm actually going to try and increase it if I can. I wonder if it'll let me. Let's try 200. Okay. And basically, I'm saying I will pay 1% on this amount of money, and then you, my counterparty, will pay me whatever the floating rate is, whatever the actual short bond rate is at that time. And so it's basically just gambling. And this, the stock market is gambling. So this should come as a surprise to no one. We're going to go down here. We're going to hit offer, and we'll see what happens. Can we do it, or will it not let me? Uh-oh. It's not going to let me, is it? Oh, here we go. The notional amount may not exceed the lesser of 10 times your net worth. Okay, so the number that they gave me was correct. Now let's try it. We're going to go offer. Oh, and okay, apparently I hit okay too fast. We entered into a swap, but they did not give me that 1%. They gave me 3.5%, which is okay. It's not great, but we'll get there. We're going to be all right. And now I'm going to hit exit. Okay, so now we have a swap contract, and basically we're hoping that interest rates go up, because when interest rates go up, bond prices fall, and we'll make some money on our swap contract, which I don't know how to see where it is. But that's the funny thing about swaps is Michael Jenkins, the original creator of this game, made swap contracts deliberately obscure. If a company has one, he like hides it on a line somewhere real far down below, because the point is these are insidious toxic cancers for companies, and they can lose a ton of money on them, and they don't report it on their regular balance sheets. So I love that. I mean, this guy, he's still alive. He's 82 years old. He was a tax accountant for a very long time. He knows his stuff. He knows all the numbers, and he knows exactly how all of this stuff works. I have learned just from playing the game. But I will say now we're just gonna kind of let it ride. Let's go back. We can watch that sweet oil number go up a little bit while our balance bounces around a little. Come on, I want these numbers to go higher. Please give me the dopamine. This one is doing poorly. So let's just take a look at this. What is different about this one? Oh, well, I bought it at a higher number. That would explain it. Okay. Oh, oil just is shooting up a little bit. If that keeps going, like if this goes to 120 like we saw it before, we are going to have so much money. It's not even, I'm going to feel bad, to be honest. But let's go ahead. Let's go back to our options. You can see we made some money on this, but it's not great. This one, it bounces around a little bit. I wish that one would pan out for us, but I think if this goes up over 50 again, I'm going to turn around and short it hard again, because I think that's pretty much guaranteed money. Oh, it got so close there. Let's take a look at this. Our total assets. Wow. Okay, March 15th. We're 3.5 months into the game. 2.5, basically. We're up to 40 billion. So if you want to make a ton of money and you're willing to restart the game a few times, just do what I do. But wow, that is a lot. I should have sold when it was at 65, eh? Let's kind of wait. Let's see if this number go up a little bit higher, and then I think I might actually cash out on some of these so that I'm not just chasing the dragon, as far as I'm just riding right on the edge of solvency. I mean, I'm worth this much now, but if oil crashed to 35, I would be bankrupt again for the third time in one video. Which I'm sure you would love to see, but I don't want to. I want to keep playing this one. I'm excited. Okay, it's up to 38. You know what we're going to do? We're going to sell this least performing one right here. There we go. We're just going to close that one out. We made that's hard to say, 6,600 million. So that would be 6.6 billion on that one swap contract. I love it. I am not complaining. Now we have some cash. Let's see. And I think it's a good time to start hunting for some takeover targets, because the way I like to play the game is you get some money and then you start scoping around. You start looking for companies that you want to take over. And I like to take over, every industry is essentially the plan, but we're going to just start with one and we'll just keep going from there. Let's see. Okay, yep, just had to let it click in for a few days. There we go. This poor Madison Avenue, they are struggle busing, but I'm looking at this. I'm seeing these price to net worths are kind of high. I don't particularly love it. I mean, they're making a lot of money. I'm not saying this is unjustified, but I don't particularly love paying that much for a company. So I think we're gonna pick something else. Last time we did security. I think let's try something different. Let's see, retail specialty. Okay. This industry is in decline. Great. It's actually the what's ironic about this game is that oh okay. What's ironic is that if you're a value hunter, if you're a bargain hunter when it comes to stocks, what you really want is like uh, a global catastrophe, and they happen. There are black swan events where there's massive what's it called? Massive recessions, global depressions. There's massive booms and busts in the business cycle, and you want to bust so you can buy cheap. But we are not in a boom or bust right now. I think the economy is probably just trucking along at sort of a normal pace. But here I come into here. We got the retail specialty, and look at this price to net worth. It's crazy high, and because they're making pretty good money. But I think these right here, do it, and I don't know what this one is. These look like really good targets to short sell because if you saw before, the industry is in decline. You have a bunch of smaller companies growing very rapidly, which is going to cut into everybody else's return on capital assets, which means their stock price is going to start crashing. And it's really a question of which one I want to do. These are well, let's just check this one out. Okay, HomeSpot, aka Home Depot. Let's go check their shareholders. Okay, it's owned a little bit by an ETF, but they're not owned by a company. They don't have any stocks. That's good. And let's just take a look. Yeah, so their equity, their net worth is 20 billion, but their total cap is 120 billion. I think what we need to do is go in here and we could either short the stock, but I think it would actually make more sense to buy puts so that I'm not putting too much of my cash out there. Let's let the days tick by a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, the stock price is leveling out. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to buy some puts on this. And okay, I got a pop up here. Now this is trouble because there's a lot bigger price differential here. And it's sort of like, how soon do you think they're going to crash? I'm going to go for January because between March and January, there's going to be like at least 3 earnings reports coming out. There are 3 different, there's 4 quarters in a year. I think there will be 3 quarterly reports coming out. Plenty of time for this stock to crash. Okay, yes, we can do that. And I should probably add them here and hope they go down. I'm going to buy some more. You can only do 10% at a time. For some reason, I never really understood. But there we go. We're sort of loading up on it because they are way overvalued. And in fact, let's go back to this. And whoop, it's still running. Let's go back here. We'll go to do it, whatever that is. Do it yourself. Let's check their financials. They have a ton of debt. Oh yeah, and they're way overpriced. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to short these guys too. Let's go back here. And I'm going to go ahead and buy. No, here's a good opportunity to make a bunch of money at the expense of other people. Is an interesting thing about this game is I learned a long time ago. I am really, really good at spotting when a company is about to fail or when they are about to lose a bunch of money, if their stock price is going to crash. I'm really good at spotting that in this game. right? What I am not good at is knowing when their price is going to go up. So I am like Mr. Negativity in Wall Street Raider, which I think means I am perfect for a career in private equity. So if you are watching this and you work for a private equity firm and you want someone who has absolutely insane risk tolerance, call me up. Okay, let's see. We're already making money on that. Let's go back. We're going to go view player, acting as the player. Let's go check on our commodities. Oh, yeah, oil's creeping up there. That's fabulous. None of these other commodities look like really good profit targets for me right now. And let's take a look at this. Okay. Gov bond is still kind of just hovering around that 45. What we really need is for the Fed to make an announcement saying that they're going to start raising rates for some reason, which typically would happen if inflation gets out of control. In the game, it would typically happen as a response to like the GDP getting too high, but it's also just sort of random. So we're just sort of hoping long term that we get that. I want to see. Um, I wish there was a way for me to see my own personal rate swaps and how much I projected to make. I think it's in here. Here. Interest rate swap exposure, projected swaps loss for this quarter. So I'm going to make a loss because rates haven't moved that much and I had to pay that premium to get this swap. So for a while I'm gonna that's just gonna be losing money, but that's okay. Let's go back. I forgot to add them to my here, and we're just gonna hope that they go down. Wait, Credit Suisse Bank. That's not who I asked for. Okay, that's weird. Let's go back to actually here. View player options. Do it yourself, and it brought up Credit Suisse Bank again. Okay, this game really wants me to buy Credit Suisse. That's whatever. It's a minor bug. That's okay. Um, oh, did I click something? Okay, that's weird. Do it. There we go. I think if I do that, aha, now I can add them. There we go. We want them to go down. We want all red. I don't like the green over here. This is not good. We'll go back. I want to make sure I keep an eye on oil. And in fact, we're going to speed up the game a little bit because these are longer term plays. But commodities, you got to be on the ball. Oh, okay. They made a slight downturn, a very tiny, very slight downturn. But I think that means it's a good time for me to cash out so that I have a good part of this game. I know, I apologize for the digression, but part of this game is knowing when to quit when you're ahead. This game teaches a lot of lessons, but that's a huge one. And so here I am quitting while I'm ahead. We can come back. I'm sure oil will keep going, and I'll have some FOMO that I could have made a lot more money. But the truth is, sometimes you have to quit when you take $1 billion to $50 billion in 5 months. Sometimes you have to know when enough is enough. Other times you just let it ride. But my friends, no, I cashed out. We have a bunch of money now. We have a bunch of options. We made a maybe questionable rate swap, but I think it'll pan out for us. It's a 5-year swap, so we're assuming rates will change in the next 5 years in our favor because they were 1%. They really can't go much lower, right? And it looks like all of our options have been profitable so far. And so I think next time, in our next video, we will start taking over some of these industries. We're going to start buying some stocks. We're going to start doing mergers and a little bit more private equity now that we have a real bankroll to work with. But I think it is time for me to end this. So if you have found this interesting, if you're like, hey, I too like making lots of money. If you like to see numbers go up and green and red on your screen, then I highly encourage you to go to the Wall Street Raider page on Steam. Make sure you hit wish list and then head over to the playtest page and download this, and you can try it yourself. And if you want, you can pause, rewind, watch me, because I get it. This is a little bit. It's a little bit confusing, especially if you've never played before or if you're so used to the old version. I'll admit I was lost, but once I made the connection that the tabs or the old buttons are now tabs and they're actually arranged in a way that makes logical sense, everything clicked for me. And all of a sudden, yes, this game, I am in love. And I think you'll be in love too. Make sure you go try it out. I mean, the playtest is free. You might as well try it, right? And of course, like I said, go ahead and join the Wall Street Raider Discord. Check out the subreddit, and I hope to see you guys there. But until next time, I've been Trimbark Tree, and I'll see you in the next one.